15th of January, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo
find
Furst,
it.
the Yeshiva Samanavshi here in Shalim Care of Zoom. This is our second share of Mr. Brewer. We're learning Hilchos Kriyas Torah in Siman Kuf Mem. I believe we did Sif Aleph. We can start with Sif Base. Yeah. Sif
Okay.
Base.
Very good.
Go ahead. Mike.
Okay, so it says, "Ha'omei likro b'Torah uvarech bracha shelefaneha." So when it goes up to read the Torah and says the blessing before it, v'kara miktsat pesukim upasach v'diber divrei Torah divrei chol. Let's see, lo havei hefsek. Ve'ino tzarich lachzor levarech. Okay, so let's see. We said that if he goes up to read the Torah and says the blessing beforehand, okay, and then reads, says miktzat hapsukim. So some of the verses, upasak. But then he stops and he says,
There was a hiatus right there. Stop.
okay, and he words of Torah, or even talking about secular things. Lo have hefsek. It's not considered a interruption, and he does not have to go back and repeat the blessing.
Uh-huh.
So it's saying that he's already read the Torah, and then he says words of Torah, or even says something. I don't know. Maybe he's talking to the Gabbai or something. I don't know.
Well, it could be. It was right. So he got up to read. He was called for an aliyah, and he made the brachas of Torah, and he started reading some psukim. He started talking in divrei Torah or divrei chol, right? Live hefsek. It's not considered to be a hefsek, and he doesn't have to go back and make a new bracha.
Oh, okay.
It's like, maybe it's a little bit similar. It's obviously a lot different, but it's like when you make a bracha on an apple, right? You make a bracha on an apple,
Mhm.
they break the eggs, you eat a little bit of it. So you don't have to remain silent until you eat the whole apple, right?
Right.
Walk in the middle of eating the apple if you like. So apparently you can do the same thing here with Kriyas Torah.
Hmm.
Whether you should do it or not, that hasn't been discussed by the Mechaber.
I see.
But if
Okay.
it did happen, you see from the Mechaber, you don't have to go back and make a new bracha. Let's see the Mr. Brewer.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to Vav. Let's see. V'kara miktzat psukim, and he reads several of the verses in the Torah. V'yein chiluk ben shekara pasuk echad o kama psukim. Oh, it doesn't matter whether he reads one verse or many verses.
Okay.
Aval lo kara adayin klal. Okay. But
But if he didn't read any psukim at all, right? He just made the brachas and he didn't make any He didn't read any of the psukim at all.
Didn't read any at all. Okay. Im hifsik afilu b'divrei Torah. It's considered an interruption even if he's speaking words of Torah. Okay.
Right.
Kevan shehu shelo v'inyan hakriya tzarich laksur l'varech. Okay. So let's see, even if he's reading Torah, since he did not what start the reading?
Right. Since he did not. Right.
Okay, he needs to repeat and say the blessing again. Okay. Vafilu sach mila achad. And even if he just said one word. Wow.
Right.
Ukemo b'chol birchat hamitzvah o hanin ditzarich lachzor levarech im yifsik techev achar habracha. Okay, so let's see. So even if he said one word, ukemo, and like any, I guess, blessing of a mitzvah or for nehenin is not pleasure. That's like when you say a bracha over an apple or something, right?
Right.
Bracha nehenin.
That's Birkas Nenim. Like you make a bracha on an apple, or even Birkas mitzvahs. You make a bracha on tefillin, and if you talk between the bracha and the mitzvah, you have to go back and make the bracha again because you made an interruption between the bracha that you made on the mitzvah and you didn't fulfill the mitzvah yet.
You know, that happened to me on Shabbat. I said, forget which bracha it was. It was probably after washing my hands, but before saying hamotzi. And for some reason, I said, something like that. And my wife said, I got to go back and wash my hands again.
That was after you washed your hands, you made, and before you made a motzi.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really saying anything. It's like a sound blurted out from my mouth.
Well,
she said to repeat go back and do the washing again. So I did.
Let's see that halacha. Let's see where that halacha is here. That halacha. Hefsek bin with feeling. Yeah, that's in Kuf Samik Vav. In Kuf Samik Vav. Back, look about a good 25, 30 pages ahead.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, that's good to know, so I can review that later. No, it's only one Mishna, it looks like, too. One sif.
Read it if you
Oh,
like.
yeah, look at that. I'm going to write that down. Hold on one second. Kuf Samik Vav. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so let's go on. It says, Af, im yodeya b'vei roar, shelo hisiach dato. What's that? But if he knows b'vei roar, that it was clear, but he didn't interrupt his thoughts.
Oh, so that's meaning again, if he made the bracha on the Torah and then he spoke out, even in Divrei Torah, he's going to have to go back and make new brachas, because it's just as if he made a bracha on Birkas Nana, Birkas Mitzvahs, and he made before he made the before he did the mitzvah, rate the food, and he spoke out. In which case, he has to go back and make a new bracha.
Uh-huh.
Now he says even in this situation, even if he just spoke one word, right? But even if he knows clearly that he did take his mind off the thing he was making the bracha on, doesn't matter.
Wow.
Why?
Huh. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The kevan shelo hitchil adayin b'hamitzvah ein la achar kach alma lachul. So since he still didn't begin the mitzvah.
Since he has not yet begun the mitzvah, that whole point, the whole problem is he didn't begin the mitzvah yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So he didn't begin the mitzvah. Ein la achar kach. He doesn't. He doesn't. Let's see. Achar kach. Afterwards, on what lachul? What he profaned?
Yeah, since he has not yet started the mitzvah yet, it's nothing upon which the bracha should be attached to. He made a bracha, right? It's like making a bracha, great prayer H without eating an apple. But there's nothing for that bracha to fix itself upon. So here, likewise, a person he made a bracha on the Torah, but he started talking about and made an interruption with talking between the bracha and reading the Torah. So that bracha was kind of left hanging without anything for it to be attached to.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Ve'im sach l'tzorech hakriya ein tzarich lachzor ulevarech. And if he talks for that's required for the reading of the Torah, he does not need to repeat and say the blessing.
Right. If there was some type of need from to speak out that would be necessary for the reading, so that would be okay. And wouldn't have to go back and make a new bracha.
Okay. V'chatchila gam ze asur. But from the beginning, this is forbidden.
Right. Ideally, even this is usher, meaning you should try and avoid speaking. If you can do it another way without speaking, that's better.
Whoops. Looks like I'm almost out of battery. Okay. Let me just finish this. The ein chiluk bein lishon hakodesh lishon chol. So it doesn't matter whether you're saying it in Hebrew or in some secular language.
Right. In all cases, you should always try and avoid speaking under all circumstances between the bracha and the doing and for doing any mitzvah, or eat any food or drinking any drink. Okay. Very good.
Okay, so let's see, Zion.
Right.
Okay, below have hefsek, and this is not an interruption. Okay, Rotzelamor, that is to say, she yitztarech levarech mechadash shekore. Okay, so let's see. She yitztarech. It's what?
It's required.
Oh, it's required. Okay. To say a new blessing for this reading, I guess.
Right.
Hold on. Okay. The delo nit batel adayin bracha rishona. Even if he didn't batel the first bracha. So let's say he says the first bracha and then he says something.
Right.
Maybe it's related. Something fell from the.
Well, don't forget, this is referring to when he read some psukim already, even if he read one pasuk, right?
Oh, he already started reading.
Right. What we were discussing in the previous Mr. Brewer is where he didn't start at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But here he had started, right? So the original bracha, right, was attached to something. It wasn't the full kriya, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a kiddush even one pasuk, according to the Mr. Brewer, right? I think it was even one pasuk echad, right? Even one pasuk is very big kiddush, because we learned previously that the minimal kriya, the minimal reading, it has to be 3 psukim. But here, even one pasuk will save the bracha from being a bracha of a tola.
Uh-huh. I see. Okay. V'afilu hisiach da'tov milikrot od v'shuv nimloch v'korei lahalan. Okay, and even if his thoughts are interrupted, I guess, further, and then he, I guess, returned and said, and read further, Ein tzarich lachzor levarech. He does not have to return and say the blessing again.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting.
Clear?
Okay, v'yesh misha katav b'inyan acher usveik brachot lahakel. There are, I guess, some who write about this matter and what they're lenient on the interruption of the bracha.
Right. Even was Masiach Das, or even like let's take a wild example. Let's say in the middle of Kriyas Torah, he got up, he's got his liyah, made his brachas of Torah, read one pasuk, right? With one pasuk, and then a bird, a pigeon flew into the Beit Knesset. Started flying around and flapping this way, flapping that way, and people had to duck around and all kinds of things, calamities and so they stopped reading.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a better example. Remember, I don't know if you were here in Israel at the time when they had the Gulf War. Had the Gulf
No,
War.
no.
So at that time, the rockets were coming in at all times of the day and night. And as a matter of fact, I remember on one Shabbos morning, the alarms, the sirens went off just as they had finished Shvi on Shabbos morning, just as they finished Shvi. So at that point, they had come to the end of the Aliyah. They made the bracha, they made the Aliyah, made the bracha. But let's say, had the sirens gone off in the middle of the Kriya, right? So some depended on different approaches how to approach the situation when the sirens would have gone off at that time. So some would leave, some would stay, but in any event, it would in general probably constitute some type of an interruption in the Kriya, right? And also would most likely involve some type of a hefsekadas, right? So in that case, Sabik Brachas Lahakil. Now, even let's say there was a 5-minute hiatus in the Kriyas of the Torah, right? So nevertheless, apparently that would be okay as long as you made a bracha rishona and read at least a minimal of one pasuk, even though there's going to be an interruption in the middle of the kriya to follow, the continuation of the kriya following. Even if there's a hesekadas, right? A few hesekadas, the cross. Even if he took his mind off from reading, and afterwards he came back and started to reread again. You don't have to go back and make a new bracha.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, let's see. So, Mikom Makom Nachon HaMevarech Yechavein Techila Bivracha. Okay, so nonetheless, let's see, it's proper for the one saying the blessing that he, since he said the bracha, his bracha, she'ef yasiach dato lachzor vayikra al smach bracha zo. That if he got distracted, he should return and read, I guess the supporting bracha, that bracha again.
Right.
Okay. Just to finish up, let's see. The alpha p kain l'chatchila asur lahafsik be'emtza kriya af below hesach hadat klal. Okay, but in spite of all this, initially it is forbidden to hafsik, to interrupt in the middle of the kriya, even what if he didn't have it in mind, or even if his mind wasn't distracted at all?
Right. So Mr. Brewer says two things. I mean, the halacha is if you made the bracha and you read at least one pasuk, so even if there's an interruption, and even a person took his mind off of reading, right? I mean, let's say they had to head for the bomb shelter, right? For 10 minutes. And then everything was okay, Baruch Hashem. So they came back, right? So what do? Do you start reading without a bracha, or you have to remake a new bracha? So it says here, Sabbath brachas lahakel, meaning that you would not need to go back and make a new bracha. Then mekol makom nacham hamevarach yichavim tchili bebrachaso. It's proper that the person who's making the bracha at the beginning, sha'af shesiach daito yaksu bikora, that even if a person, if he's going to take his mind off of the reading, he should go back and read al smach brachazu on the relying on this original bracha he's making. Right? So let's take a, so for example, so let's say a person is lo aleinu, Hashem rachim lo aleinu, is in a situation where that could be could be happening on a regular basis. He knows that there might be hospital rockets, and they might go to the bomb shelter. Right? So in such a situation, if it's common enough, he should really have in mind that if such a thing happens and they do need to make an interruption of the Kriyas Torah, his bracha that he's making now should continue even if he has to interrupt and take his mind off the reading. Nevertheless, he should have kavanah, intention that this bracha now should continue even after the interruption has ceased. Nevertheless, but nevertheless, you're not supposed to make any interruptions in the middle of the reading, even without taking your mind off of it.
Okay, very good.
Very good. Okay, so that brings us to
Gimel.
Gimel. So we'll start Gimel tomorrow, yeah?
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Thank you. Very good reading. Thank you, Mayor. Very good.
Okay,
So have a good day. We'll see you all tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem.
okay, very good.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shkoyach Meir.
Fine, be well.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.